This is the Logitech G303, but remastered for Shroud.
This is my mouse.
Logitech and Shroud have collaborated to make a G303 to fit his needs.
My mouse.
We know that.
My mouse.
We know.
Mouse.
Now, there's a very good reason why I'm reviewing this mouse now.
Money!
But did he choose the right design to go with? Shroud and Logitech have put their reputation on the line here with this mouse. I mean, just look at the shape. Is this actually going to be a good mouse worth buying, or a cash grab to take advantage of Shroud's popularity? Could this mouse even be as bad as his YouTube thumbnails? First, let's go back to 2015 when the long-lasting esport title Heroes of the Storm was released, and the best game of all time, Bloodborne. I also had hair back then. This was the year the original G303 was released, and it was known as the Daedalus Apex. This also began the start of Logitech's domination in the esports scene for gaming mice, as it came with what was considered one of the best sensors at the time, the Pixar 3366. This sensor had featured in the Logitech G502 the year before, and obviously that mouse wasn't exactly for everyone. Fast forward over half a decade later, there is no Bloodborne 2, my hair's fallen out, and the Logitech G303 X Shroud was released. There is a video from Logitech that goes into more detail about the redesign process and what input Shroud had in doing so. But what is it that has changed and couldn't make a mouse that wasn't popular at the time any better? Does it improve what is, let's be honest, quite an obscure mouse shape? And if he had just asked for a Superlight but with a USB Type-C connector, would they have made it? I'll give you my thoughts later, but let's take a look at what's actually changed. It's significantly wider, with the front, middle and back being expanded by roughly 4mm. In height is a bit less, with just around 2mm difference, and that applies to the length also. But there have been some further adjustments made to the bottom half of the mouse, with some of the more angular sections of the original G303 having been given a bit of a sanding down and more of a smooth curve to them. However, the shape is just a small part of the improvements or changes that Shroud has demanded. Do the other improvements match what is expected of a modern gaming mouse? First and most important is the sensor has been upgraded to the Hero 25K sensor, which features in all of Logitech's flagship mice. It also comes with Logitech's Lightspeed wireless technology as well. For those out of the loop, honestly, even though this technology is a bit old compared to some of the competition, it is still good enough. The difference in performance with sensors and stuff these days is so minimal it has no real impact on in-game performance. But now we get to the switches, which are still using Omrons. For those that again lack the critical information, Omrons are considered to be the less preferred switches for high tier mice, and it's been that way since before this mouse was released in 2021. These are quite different if you are used to the more quality switches that feature in other mice. So this could be one of the biggest setbacks to this mouse, and I'll tell you what I think of them a bit later, but here is a quick sound check. There's also some PTFE feet on the bottom, a nice change to the standard plastic ones that was on the old version. These are not rounded feet, but honestly I don't mind it that much. What I do like though is that these feet are quite large, which for me I find allows for a smooth and consistent glide. So has Shroud and Logitech made a stinker, and does it hold up to today's standards, or even the standards back in 2021? First, I'm not going to take into account the price yet. That is something that is really going to change my opinion on this mouse, so I'm just looking at the product itself first. More specifically, the shape. Surely a non-standard shape type like this is going to be uncomfortable. To be honest, I actually don't mind this shape because it literally forces me to not palm grip the mouse. The benefit of this shape is that it's not like I'm using a mouse and trying to keep my preferred grip type to a shape that just isn't designed for it. This mouse is forcing my grip to change to fit this mouse, which means that it's actually comfortable. It's not my preferred shape, but it is still comfortable because I'm being made to hold it properly. And the changes to the shape that have been made, with the edges being a bit more rounded and a bit thicker, allows me to keep my hand away from a fist-like position and more relaxed. For those who want a claw or fingertip grip mouse, this might be worth looking into. It is different, but it might fit your grip specifically. One potential issue is the switches. Now, Omrons do have a lesser quality and reliability to them. These are only rated for 20 million clicks in comparison to the 80 million that seems to be today's standard. But I can see that someone that wants something that's crispier, more reliable and higher quality will be disappointed with the switch selection here. Before I get to the pricing in a moment, how has it performed when actually playing in game? I have actually really liked it. I've been using it with my Razer Atlas mousepad, which is pretty much becoming my main mousepad at the moment, and I've really liked grinding with this mouse a lot more than I thought I ever would. The weight of 75 grams is neither too heavy nor too light. It feels very well balanced, and it's been a great mouse to use. And apparently this mouse has a 140-hour battery life with constant motion. Logitech don't specify what polling rate that's with, but if that is 1000 Hz, that is very good. The changes that have been made to this G303 are a massive improvement, and it's so much better to hold. Taken to the account as it is without the pricing attached, I think it's really good. It could be better, but it's still good for what it is. But let's take a look at the price and the reason why I've decided to review this now. Now, the recommended retail price is around about $130, so in my case about £140, and I paid £74 for this. So that's around $91 with today's exchange rates. If I take into account how much I paid for this mouse, I think it's amazing and worth picking up. It's high quality for the most part, high performance, and I feel like I've got my money's worth for how much I paid for it. Even against the competition around the same price, this honestly, dare I say, beats most of it. But what if I had paid the full Logitech recommended retail price for this? Honestly, I'd probably feel kind of ripped off. So my thoughts is that this mouse is definitely worth getting, providing that you can get it at a good price of around about $90. So if you can get it for around that price, you are getting honestly a fantastic mouse. If you're paying more than that though, it's going to be a massive disappointment. If you want a review of the Razer Atlas mousepad, which I think goes great with this mouse, would you look at that? It's on screen now. Watch it.